July 4th is the release of Transformers the movie, being directed by Michael Bay, executive produced by Steven Spielberg. We're trying to tell the story from the robot perspective. So our game begins with a civil war on Cybertron, with two factions, the Autobots, the good guys, and the Decepticons, the bad guys, leaving Cybertron and coming to Earth to find the Allspark. Those who hold the Allspark basically control the destiny of their race. So what you have is this basic giant battle between good and evil on Earth, and that's where our storyline begins in the game. What we do differently in the game is we actually give the player a choice. Do you want to be the good guy, do you want to be the bad guy? Do you want to play the storyline from the Autobot side, or do you want to play from the Decepticon side? And really kind of give the player the ability to kind of direct their story the way they want to go. When you're playing the Autobot side, yes, you have the ability to transform, the ability to be in vehicle form, but you're mainly on the ground. On the Decepticon side, it's more aerial combat. Each character is different in their own right. Some are small, Jazz is about 10 feet tall versus Optimus Prime, who's about 30 feet tall. They move differently, they have different weapons, they have different attacks, they have different transformations that they can utilize. Transformation was one of the key things we really wanted to leverage when we were creating the game. There's no other game out there that can say, hey, we have Transformers, we can change form, we could be a car, we could be a robot, we could be a helicopter, we could be a robot. And that's one of the key things that we went out to design the game that we really wanted to take advantage of. We wanted to make the transformations, A, look cool. Number two, we wanted to make them easy to utilize in the game. So at any time in the game, as you're driving around or flying around, you can transform and be in robot form. But if there's a reason to transform back, either to gain a defensive advantage or an offensive advantage, you're able to do that just by pressing one of the buttons on the controller and just transform back. The way we've set up the game is it's based on a series of hubs. So on the Autobot side, there's 5 different hubs that you can play. They're not the same as the one on the Decepticon side. Some do interlink, so you are going to play the same hubs at different times. But in each hub, there's 4 to 5 different missions. And then there's also a bunch of different mini sort of sub-missions that are unlocked based on things that you have to achieve in the level. There's some that are based on speed, some that are based on destruction, some that are based on heroic elements. We even have some smaller ones that are based sort of like on throwing an object. Once you've unlocked all the achievements, then you unlock certain bonus content. So when we did the bonus content, we really tried to leverage as much as possible. We sort of had these 5 different buckets. We had movie content, we had toy content, we had comic book content, we had the game content, a variety of different things that you'll unlock and be able to see, plus G1 characters that you actually can play. So G1 Optimus Prime, G1 Megatron. We have these things which are called repaints, so it's a repaint of, let's say, the movie version of Optimus Prime with the repaint of the G1 skin. And we do that with Jazz, and we do that with Megatron and Starscream, so tons of different characters. Uniqueness for each of the different platforms. So on the PS3, we utilize a 6-axis controller. We utilize it mainly on all of the aerial missions. So when you're flying as Blackout, who's the Apache helicopter, or Starscream, who's the jet, you can use a 6-axis controller to fly around. On the 360, we have this whole in-depth achievement system. On the Wii, we do have a gesture system where you can use that with all the different characters to pick up items, throw items, and utilize it for the combat. So really, it's the same game across all 3 SKUs, but doing different things to make each of the different versions unique for their specific systems. So Transformers the game comes out at the end of June. It's coming out on PS3, 360, PS2, Wii, PC. We've got 2 NDS SKUs coming, and also on the Sony PSP. So get out there, represent your faction, and pick up the game.